Hey there, welcome to day 1555 of What's She Up To Now. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here, documenting the journey as I transition from brick and mortar corporate world of business to the online world of business. So basically, sharing online business strategies and things that I'm doing, as well as offline things. If people ask, I'll answer whatever question you have about either offline, corporate, or online business. Lots of experience in all of the above. Some good, some bad, some ugly, some awesome. Lessons learned from all of it, right? Some things people would call a massive flop or failure, but I call them a lesson learned. Now, at the time, I might not have called them a lesson learned, but over time, I've learned to discover that there was something I needed to learn from every experience that I've had, good or bad. So today in Supersize Your Business, we're talking about financial or money-related idioms for the month of May to coincide with the annual challenge, the BU 365-day annual challenge. We're doing one thing every day that improves us. I have a core belief of, which we're talking about financial core beliefs today, of continuous improvement, continuing to get better and better a little bit every day. And when we break things down, anything, the biggest goal, the biggest challenge, the biggest thing that we want to overcome, if we break it down into little bite-sized pieces, and do one thing every day to move us toward it, we can achieve absolutely everything and anything. I've done stuff that I never, and that no one else thought I could ever do, but by breaking it down into little pieces, by understanding that I didn't have to do big chunks all the time or achieve big giant steps, but if I broke it down and did little things every day, I could create the momentum that gave me the results that I wanted. And you can do the same thing too. So we talk about it in the different areas and aspects and pieces of content that I share every day. And one of those is an idiom related to a particular topic and then tied to business. What does it mean for growing and building and supersizing our business? So for example, today's was feeling flush. Now, feeling flush is an idiom and an expression that's been around in a lot of different languages. It appears in Italian, Spanish, Dutch. It comes from the Latin fluxus, which means flow. And when we're flowing and not just flushing the toilet, which is flush as well, sometimes it will cause a flow of blood and will appear blushed or red in the face when we're feeling a sudden feeling of anger, excitement, pleasure, fear. Sometimes people get flushed when they're fearful. Usually our blood drains from our face when I'm fearful. But we talked about, what does flush mean to you? And are you feeling more flush, excited about building and growing and supersizing your business than like flushing it down the toilet? There's been times and there's days and stuff that happens in all of our lives where sometimes we just want to say, man, I just want to flush this away and stop doing it. But we don't, especially if we are in touch with what our core values are, the reason that we're doing it in the first place. So today for financial core, for our annual challenge, we talked about financial core values. And like everything else, our core values are different. They're different for each and every one of us. The core values I have about finances, for example, are different than the ones my sisters do. I grew up in a family of all sisters, and even though we had the same awesome parents and we grew up in the same house, the same environment, went to the same school, at least through high school, and had the same similar experiences, we had different teachers, we had different experiences, we had different relationships with people. And so even though we had similar backgrounds and experiences, we all have developed different core values with respect to a lot of areas and aspects of our life, but especially with respect to financial. And so we talked about core values with respect to our financial well-being. What are our core values? And the reason we want to know what they are is because they will determine whether we're going to achieve our long-term goals and objectives or not, because they are core to us. And sometimes what happens, especially in the areas I have personally found of physical and financial, it's a really great place because it's so easy to tell and see, if we're willing to look at it, what the mismatches are between our core values. If I have a core value for security, flexibility, and creativity, that sounds all well and good, but when it comes to finances, that might mean that I am making decisions that are very low risk because I want to take care of my sense of security, my core value for security and safety. But sometimes, and a lot of times, in order to create more financial wealth, we need to be willing to risk more. And so, risk aversion and security and safety aren't necessarily awesome for financial prosperity in certain avenues, right? There's pretty relatively safe ways to grow our money and make money and be successful financially. But that's just an example of where we can see our core values butting heads and having an impact on us. That's why we're breaking down each month for the first 9 months of this year of the annual challenge and talking about the core values in each of the different areas and aspects of our life, so that as we look at them separately, we can come together and we can say, okay, security and safety are important to me, but these are the areas where I can let up a little bit and be a little more open and a little more out of my comfort zone when it comes to risk and things, because I want the result more than I'm worried about risking a little bit of money or a little bit of resources. I hope I'm explaining that well enough. If not, ask me. Please just ask. So we talked about our core values. We're going to identify our top 5 for the area of finance. I think we're doing 5 in every year. I don't remember how many I asked, either 3 to 5. And then we're going to combine those at the end. And when we get to October, we're going to do a lot of pulling things together, looking for patterns and looking for ways to take things that don't necessarily mesh together and find ways to bring them together to give us better results. So that was our content for today in terms of, and then this, just documenting my journey. Any questions? If I can help you anyway, I've got my 5-minute guarantee. I guarantee that if we talk for 5 minutes, in 5 minutes or less, if you're feeling stuck about anything, any area or aspect of your business, whatever business you're in, I guarantee that within 5 minutes, we can get you taking the next step. Absolutely, positively, you will know what to do. Now, whether you take that next step or not is entirely up to you. But I guarantee you, you will clearly know, because you already do know, what your next step needs to be. All right, if I can help you anyway, ask. Otherwise, I will be with you tomorrow just to document my journey. Have an awesome day. Bye.